Into game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to His Name Has Been Updated. You can look over there, I'm pointing, and see that down below, his name is updated. It's actually Salic. Just kidding. It was a totally fake you out moment because I'm Jake Hilton, Salic. You'll see us on YouTube as we try to get some highlight reels going. Game number 2, Team Copper League versus Barely Plat. A lot of people that have played before and a handful of new people. Swipper is not new. That's just he keeps changing his name again and again. I think 2 weeks ago he had a name that was basically all symbols besides one letter, and I'm like, I can't. How do you copy what? Swipper's a little bit better, but even the S is weirded out.
Was that Rakan?
Even S is weirded out. So, oh yeah, I think it was. It was the Rakan name. And everything was just complete. Besides the R, everything else was messed up.
Yeah, everything else.
At least it was readable, but that's like the one good thing that it had. So, all right,
Yeah.
Draven, Zed, Vlad banned away some of my least favorite champions in the game, including that Vlad. Vlad as well as Swain are my two like main bans, just because they are such a powerhouse in the mid game and late game. You can't kill these monsters. You just can't stop them.
Yeah, they're too durable for you. I do like that we're seeing different bans this time than we did last game. I don't think Yasuo is actually the first repeat ban we've had today. So a lot of those strong picks that got knocked out earlier in draft phase last time are available for the teams to select this time. So I'm interested to see if they do take any of those champions that we did not get to see last game because they are just so strong. One that comes to mind is the Brand, especially into a team that is primarily AD. That ultimate is critical.
I don't mean to correct you, but
Yasuo was not banned.
Was not banned because he was played in the game with the Malphite. That being said, though, he is going to be banned this time around. I think he should have been banned last game. It's totally cool, though. Mundo, yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sejasis picking up the Riven once again. League is my main. Welcome to the stream, taking the Nami for the supportive role. Is this a Rammus?
And that is Rammus he is showing right now, yes. And I'm hoping he sticks with it. Love me some Rammus.
The thing that I love about Rammus is, all right, switching to the classic powerhouse that was banned away last game. Instead, going to be locking in the Irelia. I love Rammus because he taunts an enemy AD carry champion and says, you can kill yourself, it's fine. I'm literally going to walk away as you auto-attack me and die. It's a good game. But
yeah.
Not going to be played by Swipper this time around. Just got my hopes excited. Commander C. This guy's played a lot in the top lane before. I think pulled out a couple of Aatroxes maybe. Will be picking up the Malzahar this time around. You know what's nice about our stream though, Salic?
What is that?
The best thing about our stream is that we're not like the pro scene where everyone is constantly switching their champions around and rotating 36 times before everyone locks in their final pick. Yeah. We actually get to see, usually, exactly who everyone is playing. As soon as they lock that champion, we can analyze a little bit further because they're going to be playing that champion. And maybe role's going to switch a little bit, but we know that Commander C is going to be playing the Malzahar. Sejasis will be on the Riven, and that makes it a lot easier. I think the only pair we've consistently seen trade is TSM Doublelift and Wing Carnation to give Wing Carnation
Where have they been the
his
last couple weeks?
Unbelievable Alistar. I'm not sure. But if you see that pair, maybe they left and stopped playing because there wasn't anyone that could handle them. They consistently destroyed the bottom lane over like the course of a month. And every pair that they went up against, they just wrecked. And I think they may have just gotten bored and said, all right, whatever, we'll move on to bigger prey because these people obviously don't know how to take us.
These guys are scrubs.
And that's the thing, though. They weren't even necessarily against scrubs. It just appeared because they were so good that they were against scrubs. They were a very good pair. We do see the Brand this time around. DRF Dive picks that one up. Powerhouse most likely played in the bottom lane as it could, well, I don't know. Could be a top lane Malzahar Brand mid lane. We'll find out. Yi and Talon, the last two bans, the second to last two bans in the
Yi
second
and
phase.
Ezio band. No love for the Assassin's Creed reference?
I was lost a little bit and thought about Resdra, but the other thing is that Talon has been destroying solo queue. Okay, I've actually played...
Yeah, he's been nuts lately.
Recently, with some of the new runes, his burst potential is unbelievable. I mean, he melts tanks with one combo. This guy is ridiculous. The only thing to beat him is incredibly hard CC. So take a Malzahar or take somebody like a Malphite against this guy, because otherwise he's free-low at this point in the game. But no hard CC because we don't need him. It's banned away. Teemo, the last ban as well. Go ahead.
Zoe also taken out. Ezreal picking up the Temeni and Delicious Seal on Darius. This is always a scary pick because Delicious Seal is a fantastic Darius.
I'm just going to quote what we said last time. Seal doing Sealy things in the top lane.
Seal doing Seal things.
He just walked right through Red Team's top side, never joined his team, never did anything, murdered every single person that showed up in his lane.
Alkaline.
Very, very focused champion player. Says, this is my hero, this is my game, I'm just going to take you down. Decides to go with the Cho'Gath, which is even more nerve-wracking because at least the Garen has a silence and is generally tanky enough that you really do have to burst him out hard, otherwise he's just going to heal back up. But the Cho'Gath early game is extremely squishy. So a little bit of concerning for Barely Plat because Delicious Seal's Darius is to be reckoned with. But rolling through the players and their champions, Copper League starting us off. Sejaces with the Riven in the jungle. Commander C2121 with the Malzahar in the mid lane. DRF Dive with the Brand bottom lane paired up with DRF Xeno. That's actually going to be exciting on the Xerath as Delicious Seal finishes off with the Darius in the top lane.
And then on Barely Plat, we've got League is my main on Nami in the supportive role. Swiffer taking the Irelia, looks like to the mid lane. Lord of the Dongs hitting up the Rengar in the jungle. Temeni on Ezreal for the ADC. And Alkaline SN wrapping it up in the top lane with Cho'Gath.
All right, guys, we need your suggestions in the chat for what Death Design should buy with his 3K RP that he won in a tournament. So throw out your favorite skins. I'm going to say the Sona. What is the music Sona skin? That's not arcade
DJ?
Sona. DJ
They're
Sona.
They're all music skins.
Well, that's so funny. Ha 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 ha. Because she plays an instrument. She doesn't talk, except in your head, which is kind of scary because she can read your mind. And I think most people
really
don't want their mind read by Sona.
I wouldn't mind.
2 minutes. Okay, you're married. We're going to have a talk about this. 2 minutes remaining as we wait to get into this game. Let's discuss, because this round seems a little bit more interesting, but is somewhat following a bit in the footsteps of the last game. Not quite as many tanks on the side of Barely Plat, but Copper League has massive murder potential. Brand Xerath, talk about stuns in the bottom lane. Come out with the hard CC of Malphite, and you don't think that's enough AP damage? Let's go AD with the Darius and Riven. They are a murderous crew. Who needs tanks when you literally just wipe everyone on the enemy side completely off the map? But we saw that it didn't work last game. Can Barely Plat hang on until late game and use the monster scaling of Cho'Gath and the untouchable Irelia past 30 minutes to win it? What are your thoughts?
Honestly, I don't think so. I think Copper League is going to pull this one out. The Brand Xerath bot lane does come to mind because not only are they, you mentioned their CC potential, I'm going to talk about their long-range poke. You've got that Xerath there. If the Xerath is playing as the support there, he can completely just stand back, fire off his Arcana Pulse, and just poke the Ezreal out of lane. And that's Ezreal's trick. That's what Ezreal does, is he just pokes you out of lane. If he's getting knocked out of lane, if he's the one losing CS to poke, I definitely see this bot lane going against Barely Plat, and if it goes against them hard and Delicious Seal is able to push the early game advantages of the Cho'Gath and prevent Cho'Gath from being able to really scale up in the early game, I definitely see Copper League coming away with the win on this one.
So one of the things that I'm a little bit nervous about for Barely Plat as well is this Nami. Normally, you want to take a heal support like this Nami into a poking matchup. And I know that he didn't know what the enemy team was picking, but even still, against even, you know, a Xerath bottom lane supportive role, not a bad choice. Every time he gets a little zap onto the Ezreal, you heal it back up, you move forward. But you're against double poke with some incredibly strong CC. And you're a super squishy Nami. this Nami is going to have to play incredibly safe to just not get touched by the Brand or Xerath. Otherwise, she's going to be harassed out of lane, and there's not much going to be left over. The main thing for Barely Plat that I can see is the jungler needs to keep the Cho'Gath safe in the top lane to not just literally feed this Darius until he's at a buffet line just murdering everything. And they need to make sure that this Ezreal gets onto his 2 blue item spikes so that he can actually do heavy harass damage. Late game Ezreal pokes between a little bit of, with the double blue item spike that he has, he can chunk a Brand or a Xerath or a Malzahar half health with one of his Mystic shots. But he needs to get to that point, because until then, he's just an extra minion for them to feed off of.
Absolutely. I do really love these skins. We got skins for wins on the side of Copper League there. 5 total. Dawnbringer Ribbon, Battle Boss Malzahar. I always love the Dunkmaster Darius.
Does Darius have other skins?
No, actually. They deleted every other Darius skin from the game approximately 4 months ago.
That's kind of what it looks like. Every time Darius is played, it is the Dunkmaster Darius. That's not actually true. A coworker of mine plays Darius as his main and always uses the one that you can only get from boxes. I will not admit, Dreadnought. I will not admit how much money he spent to be able to pick it up. But he does play with the Dreadnought Darius skin. I think he picked up the Dunk Master just for fun as well. Doesn't need it, but because he prefers a Dreadnought. But even still. All right, I have the most crucial question in the game for you, Mr. Salic the Analyzer.
Yes.
Which one is the ADC, the Brand or the Xerath?
If it's me, I go with the Brand.
Wow, quick response. Yeah, main damage dealer, the person that you want the most amount of farm on, I would agree. The Brand for the damage, the burn, everything else that makes your life happy. The Xerath can, late game, be nothing more than a stun bot. Not the greatest, but can function, so he doesn't need a large amount of gold. You can actually see him there picking up the supportive item of that spell, Thief's Edge. So we correctly predicted as Swipper is just going to leave the game and reconnect to give us a bit of a heart attack, but we're right back into it. So we talked about the teams. We analyzed, generally speaking, where they're going to go. What lane do you see getting mostly out of control in this one?
As of right now, I'm really worried about that Cho'Gath in the top lane. I'm not going to lie. Delicious Steel has proven time and again that his Darius is something that should not be trifled with. And I'm worried to see if Alkaline can stand up to the pressure.
And that's one of the things with this top lane Darius. You can tell that he's not interested in a farming lane. Didn't bring teleport. He's got the ghost and he's got the flash. That is, I'm going to chase you down and kill you. I believe I look one direction, and that direction is forward. If I don't get the kill, I will just wait and then kill you before backing. We'll see if he can pull it off. We did see him, I believe it was level 2. Ooh, a little bit here. Barely placking. Nice harass onto Xeno. Knocks him down very low. He's going to be forced to flash. Another Mystic shot could take him out. It's very low. Flashing forward to many. Cancels his auto attack. Under 100 health. Now forced to heal up. Xeno healing as well. The action in the bottom lane has calmed down, but it was extremely close.
Timeni has to back up here. Xeno can still hit him with any of his spells.
I like League as my main, starting off with the heal as Riven comes slashing in. Level 2 gank. The red buff, Ignite ticking away on League is my main as well. There's the extra burn. Xeno throws out a couple of auto attacks, just trying to burst the last bit of the Nami down. Got the heal though, so still alive in the top lane. Delicious Seal. This is what we talked about. Level 2 going in onto the Cho'Gath, putting him low. Tries to drag him underneath the turret. Alkaline burning away with the corrupting potion as well. And he does! He falls! Oh man! The burn and the bleed way too much, and barely Plat lose 2 so early on into this game.
I gotta admit, the bot lane of Copper League did a fantastic job on this, and I don't normally go to the replay this soon, but I do want to point
because there's a burn. Hold on a second, Commander C. We'll go to that replay. I just had to point out the fact that we did see a very quick kill in the mid lane on Commander C with another gank there. Well, this time it was from not actually positive. I think Swiper just managed to solo it. Anyway, go ahead with the replay. Sorry.
Okay, so Temeni here dodges, and then Sejasis flashes in to get the kill. So it was a fantastic job by Xeno setting it up to where there was only one way Temeni could dodge, and that was into Sejasis. Fantastic job by Copper League making sure that they get that setup in order.
Beautiful, beautiful play. And we'll probably see a lot more of that as the game continues. But the Aurelia being able to solo out the Malzahar in the mid lane is a good sign for Barely Plat, as the bottom lane spell spam continues from Copper League. And that's one of the things about these two in the bottom lane is they throw a lot of spells, and it's going to make it very difficult to dodge all of them. Imagine if all of those two threw out all of their spells at the same time. You would literally cover the entire lane with damage. Where would you go? So it'll be up to this Ezreal to try to use the Arcane Shifts and the now Hextech Flash he has hanging out to be able to keep from losing out, or losing a lot of his life from the damage.
Yeah, with that early death, though, I'm not 100% certain that's going to be possible. Brand picking up a Sapphire Crystal as a result of the gold he got out of there. Xeno pushing a little far forward here.
Yep, they find a stun straight into the second stun from DRF Dive. The pair works its way out. Level 3, the Xerath picked up that extra stun. Oh, Temeni getting some nice harass back, though. That's the one good thing about this Ezreal, is that he can just slowly harass these spell throwers down once they're on the cooldowns. They can do that in the mid lane, or towards the top, I guess it is. Lord getting a little bit of damage onto the Riven, but it really comes down to, can Delicious Seal get a second kill onto Alkaline and set himself up for success? Doesn't have level 6 yet. If he did, that would be a very dead Cho'Gath.
Yeah, he's pretty close, though. Looking at it, got about 50% of the way there, maybe 55, so he is pretty close to picking up that level 6, and it could be that we see that be the major turning point. Alkaline is going to manage to make it back here before Delicious Seal pushes his wave into the tower, meaning he's going to lose quite a bit of CS here.
Oh, burst down onto Temeni. However, he's still going in. There's now no mana barrier used by Xeno, trying to keep himself alive, and that is going to fall. The burn from the Nami, cleaning that one up. Brand coming in from the river. I think he was trying to ward. Will fall as well. So a good quick trade of kills back. Barely Plat doing a nice job being able to pick up both of those.
And that evens up the gold, evens up the kills, and gives bot lane a little bit of time to push onto this tower and get some early damage in. It is past 5 minutes, so the barrier has fallen on that if Temeni does want to push up and put some damage down, but it looks like they're going to go ahead and back off.
So far, a little bit of even trading back and forth between these two. I was going to say a huge advantage to Copper League in the bottom lane, but we just saw Barely Plat, especially with a nice move from the Ezreal, even that one up. And Nami showing up just in time to get the extra heals down, keep the Ezreal alive. The main thing is that lack of mana. And there really isn't much mana still on the side of Copper League. In the top lane, Delicious Seal does have his ultimate, though, but a great Vorpal spikes. I'm sorry, that's the Rupture from the Cho'Gath will stop and stifle that engage. But it's still the flash burn on the Cho'Gath. He continues to have to burn these spells defensively to stay alive, and eventually he's going to run out of them.
Well, he's out of them right now. Teleport's not going to be up for another minute or so. And look, and his flash, of course, just burned, meaning Alkaline is very vulnerable in this top lane. Lord is going to have to come up and cover him if they're going to have any chance of holding on to this top lane much longer.
And these two continue to push in the bottom lane. The main thing on that top side is the Cho'Gath farm, 22-45. Delicious Seal winning very strong and keeping the farm advantage. In the mid lane, there's the ult from the Aurelia. Not going to do that much. And against a Malzahar, a disarm isn't going to be too effective. He cares more about his spells than auto attacks. And he's losing out a little bit of farm in the mid lane, but not too bad.
Xeno just shot that, shot his Arcana Pulse right between his opponents here. His Dive's taking a ton of damage here.
Oh, he may be going down here. Another auto attack. Ezreal picks that one up. Wants in onto Xeno as well. Forces the flash from the Xerath, and that's going to be Barely Plat picking up another kill. And once they saw the go turn, Brand burning a bunch of his spells, they said it's time to go in. But here comes Riven. There's no ward in that bush. They don't know that she's here. And League is my main. Is going to be walking straight over. Sejaces doesn't care. Just slices her way in. Finishes off the Ezreal with the help of the Xerath. And moves in onto Nama. But it looks like she's going to escape for the moment. Lord hanging off to the side. Alkaline trying to drag him in. And that's going to be baiting it in. But now the ultimate's already been used once. The double dunk from Darius. We talked about how dangerous Delicious Seal is on this champion. And the Cho'Gath could not get over in time for the Rengar to save him.
Yep, the flash being down is absolutely punished there by Delicious Seal. If Alkaline had had the flash available, he might have been able to jump over and get there. As we see the Xerath ult come through by Xeno to take out League is my main. Fantastic job there. I always love using that from cover in order to just wipe out my opponents before they have a chance to see me.
And that was an insane amount of damage. 3 shots, didn't even need the other 2. 3 shots finishes off Name from almost full health, giving another kill over to Copper League. So they're still feeling good. The game is not over.
My turn to correct you. He only has 3 shots at first rank.
Oh, at rank 1?
Every rank in his ultimate, he gets an additional shot. So 3 ranks at rank 1, 4 shots at rank 2, and 5 shots at rank 3.
Well, I said he didn't need the other 2 that he didn't even have, so, you know.
Oh, that's true.
That's
true.
I don't think he wanted to fight the Brand 1v1, and there is the Xerath coming around from behind as well, but looks like he'll be able to escape back to his own turret. Just throwing out a couple more Mystic shots. And this is the poke that we talked about. If he can layer it on and consistently hit those Mystic shots, it could keep Copper League's bottom lane health low enough. They're afraid of going in truly. There's the stun and the reset, but the suppression underneath the turret. Swipper may be able to escape for the moment, but the Ignite is ticking away, dropping the Irelia's health. She will be able to live, though. Beautiful play, but the flash force as well. And dive goes down. The poke from this Ezreal, just so incredibly strong, throws out the ultimate as well. Last Mystic shot to finish off the Brand, and another double kill over to this Ezreal.
Holy cow. Temeni's doing a fantastic job there, making sure to put the pressure on and keep it there. We were talking about Copper League being able to keep the gas on, but it's actually barely Plat that's managing to put a little bit of pressure and just keep that pressure forward in order to just destroy their opponent, especially in the bottom lane. Now, I will say Copper League definitely has a defined advantage here, as we're pushing 50 CS advantage for Delicious Seal over Alkaline SN.
And again, we
this
see
top lane match.
The crazy aggression out from the Darius. No boots, straight into Black Cleaver. Has the health and that extra damage. And just going to walk his lane down. You're not going to see much of Delicious Seal joining the team. Instead, more focused on just crushing down his lane. The Nami bubble actually went right between the 2 members of Copper League in the bottom lane. It could have been some pretty hefty damage. They're going to be able to just clean up that farm. Irelia 2-0 in the mid lane.
Yeah, 2-0 in the mid lane, and it's pretty good, especially given the
huge fight in the bottom lane. There's the Brand all bouncing back and forth. You have Xeno with a nice spike, and Riven coming in from behind. A huge gank there. Beautifully played. Double kill to the support Xerath. Now 4-2 and 1. If you want to replay that, that was pretty awesome.
I was just going back to that because I'm trying to figure out where exactly. So Sejaces is just coming around the backside on this, as I don't have my full zoom available here. The stun from Dive hits, then the stun from Xeno hits. The ultimate from Xeno takes him out as Sejaces comes around here. That was just beautiful CC layering on the damage-dealing member of Team Plat. They did a great job there.
Commander C going to fall again. Swipper just finding the last touch of a hit underneath the turret. Again, taken very low, but still able to find a kill on the Malzahar and put him continually further behind, which is what they need is to keep these mages from doing too much damage. But again, that bot lane layering of damage, I think at this point we've seen 4 double kills in the bottom lane. Like, theoretically speaking, I know that's not necessarily on one individual champion, but at the very beginning of the game, Copper League got both kills, then Barely Plat got both kills, then Copper League got both kills, then Barely Plat got both kills. 4 or 5 at this point. Laura on the Rengar coming in with the ultimate. Nice bubble from Nami. Get a little ward there to make sure they got that vision on the members of Copper League running through the river bush. Looks like Rengar's ult is just going to time out as he stays to just defend the mid lane, giving Aurelia time to back out.
I like what Xeno's doing here. He's staying forward and making sure to poke down this lane so that when Commander C gets back up here, Commander can quickly farm it up and shove it into the tower. As he made sure that all the minions stayed low enough health that it was a quick matter for Commander to push this back.
So 9 kills to 8. Still, slight gold advantage for Copper League, but it really is mostly about the Darius. Again, the Xerath does have 4 kills, but he's a support Xerath. He's not necessarily going to be your main damage dealer. You'd love to see all those kills onto the Brand or somebody a little bit more. As Xeno misses the stun, just going to chunk a little bit of health from the Cho'Gath, but this could be the tower falling. AP champions do a lot more damage to turrets now that they have been slightly debuffed, so it will be first turret going down for Copper League.
Second turret.
In the mid lane. Nope, another stun onto the Malzahar, but he's going to turn around. Riven comes in, flashes forward, gets the stun. That's the ultimate as well. Takes out Irelia. Copper League now starting to stack up these advantages. Alkaline SN going to flash away from the ultimates from the Xerath. Looks like they won't be able to finish off the kill, even though he gets very low.
And they don't necessarily need to finish off the kill, too. They're going to take this tower down quite a bit on its health, and Xeno's just able to keep poking people down from a safe distance while Seal can take this down. This is a fantastic duo here. They're going to have to answer with more people if Barely Plat wants to manage to hold on to this tower, because right now, Xeno and Seal are just going to be crushing this thing.
And at this point, I think that it's probably better to just let it go and instead defend the mid lane turret, though I guess they're not going to get there in time because the mid lane turret also going to be dropped down to a quarter health. Nami, the only one coming so far to try to defend Aurelia, is shortly behind. So towers taking a ton of damage, and you're right, earlier it was the second turret as the bot lane turret had already been finished off. No Drake's taken anything so far in the game. It is only an Ocean Drake. Wards, though, from both teams hanging out there by that Drake, so they obviously are not prioritizing that. Instead, they want these extra kills. The Swipper goes in, finds the slow, the stun won't land, so we'll call that engage off.
Nice job by Commander backing out there nice and slow and keeping himself safe despite Swipper moving forward. Swipper was using the oh, I can't remember what that ability is called. Using the Q to keep moving across not just the minions, but also across Malzahar's Voidlings.
Oh, that's true. A little bit of extra resets there when you execute those Voidlings. Rupture going to slow the Darius. He's still going to get those extra Krugs. A little extra gold into his pocket. 141 farm to the 51 of the Cho'Gath.
We are going to see a Flame Horizon this game, ladies and gentlemen, as Cho'Gath just has to let Delicious Seal take this.
Oh, Nami ultimate comes in, though. Nice little knock-up, and the slow. Lord of the Dunks jumps in, but the flash keeps him alive for the moment. There's the Rite of the Arcane as well. They are outside of its range, just forcing them back underneath the turret. And that defensive play from the Xerath keeps the Darius alive in what looked to be a really good engage.
That was a fantastic disengage by Xeno. Made sure to take full advantage of the fact that he has that massive range and can fire that ability across basically half the map.
Well, they're still trying to defend it, but Delicious Seal wants the turret. Xeno here to clean it up as well. Super in the mid lane, back to engaging with another stun. Commander C's got his dashing boots on, and the suppression down. Ignite ticking away, but he will finally get a revenge kill in the mid lane. 1 and 3 takes down the Irelia, who's been doing so much work, and he's only 10 farm behind. Oh, little jump there.
And that's just Irelia getting a little bit over eager, diving in under the tower for the 4th time, I believe, because all the kills on Malzahar have ended up being underneath the tower. And Commander manages to take full advantage of the fact that that was a tower dive on his end of the map, and takes the opposing tower. That is the full outer ring already down for Barely Plat before the 20-minute mark.
And that's one of the things that I really got away going underneath the turret multiple times. Just because you get away with doing something ridiculous and insane doesn't mean that it's a good idea. And so eventually it does finally catch up to her. Her luck runs out. She gets suppressed under the turret. And guess what? Malzahar finally does enough damage that you are going to fall. In addition to that, he's a little tankier, so not as easy to kill. With that Rylai's Crystal Scepter now, he doesn't even need to land all of his spells just to slow people down and let that Darius get even more fed. If one looked across this team, you could consider a different version of the funnel strat. though Riven's doing quite well for herself on top of all of it. If everyone just feeds the Darius, Delicious Seal will do Sealy things and win single-handedly.
Speaking of Delicious Seal, looks like coming in along the side to make this a 5v5, close to it anyways. There we go, Rengar's joining the party now. So 5v5 grouped up in the mid lane. Minions look to be in the advantage of Team Barely Plat on both of the outer waves. So if Copper League stays in this lane for too long, they could be facing a little bit of tower damage on the outside, but I don't think they're too concerned with that, having already cleared out the outer ring of Barely Plat.
And Legend Is Main is actually doing a fairly decent job, 1, 3, and 4, using all of her AP to keep everyone healed up. You see those heals constantly being spammed out. Aurelia went down to half, now healed back up to almost 3/4. And Nami just playing that back line very defensively, has that ultimate as well. If they decide to engage underneath the turret, will probably use that. The poke, though, from 3 different champions is a little bit much. Cho'Gath continues just to get poked down, starts to recall again. The flash forward from the Riven, that's going to take out the Nami. And what is all those heals going to do when you are dead? 2 quick kills over to Copper League. Riven does fall underneath 2 turrets and being ulted by I'm not exactly sure who finished him off. I think Ezreal just did the damage as the second tier turret will fall. Lord on the Rengar tries to go in, finishes off 1, but will fall himself. And Darius continues to stack up bigger. Commander C finishing and getting credit for the Rengar kill.
This is a little, oh boy, full damage combo. Not quite enough because it's a support Xerath.
And that's what I'm talking about. When you have those 4 kills
that.
on Xeno, and it's a support Xerath. It's not going to do that burst that you're wanting to see. If Brand was there, the Ezreal would be dead. But it's not. And so they did get the Ocean Drake off the back of that engage in the mid lane. So they have that extra advantage to themselves. They've got a massive gold lead, 7,000.5, if you want to say that, 7,500, due to all of these turrets that have gone down everywhere and having a slight kill lead. But mainly, it is about those turrets. They have taken these towers down everywhere across the map. They've got full control at this point, as long as they keep their wardage up. And it looks like the fight around Baron should probably be next, but I don't think Barely Plat can win it if they 5v5.
No, they don't have enough gold on their major carries, and there's just too much potential for Bronze or for Copper League to completely out damage them downright. Especially if Commander C can manage to drop the Void Zone in the middle of the enemy team. That's going to do too much damage, and they won't be able to withstand it. Especially since Alkaline has not had the chance to scale up yet. The only member they have to worry about is Swipper, and as you can see, they're going in hard right now to take care of that
Swipper
problem.
get over the wall, has flash, but not going to be able to use it. The CC too strong now. Dive might be in a bit of trouble. One bubble as the other was spell shielded. Alkaline in trouble. Nice rupture, going to stop the Brand from chasing in at the moment. League is my main, trying to dodge out, still gets knocked down. Very low health, speeding herself away, trying to get to safety. Has already used the ult, the heal, but the zap from Xerath over the wall will finish the Nami off. League is my main falling down, and once again, Copper League says, who needs objectives when you can just get some extra kills?
Well, they're still looking for the objective here, hovering around that tower in order to take it down. As speaking of objectives, Delicious Seal back to split pushing.
Sealy doing Sealy things. I mean, would you expect anything else? I was kind of surprised. He came mid lane and was able to help out in the last team fight, but takes the top lane inhibitor turret, whacking away on the inhibitor as well. Swipper going to be dragged in. The stun still goes down. Lord on the Rengar around the corner. Will it be enough? I don't think so, as Swipper is just going to be burned away. That is disgusting.
Disgusting is a word you could use for that. Delicious Seal going to get another one. Seal didn't even have to use the ult on that one.
No, that's the thing about the burn. I think it was that Aurelia had 200 or 300 health, and all of it just got burned away. Nami heal keeping Rengar alive. Seal may finally fall. Doesn't even use the ultimate, but Dunk Master Darius will be cleaned up. And it's still 2 inhibitors alive for Barely Plat, but they are barely hanging on.
Well, and those inhibitors too are open as well as the problem. They've got 2 inhibitors, but they're 2 inhibitors without towers to protect them. Meanwhile, while Delicious Seal was distracting literally the entirety of Barely Plat, the rest of his team cleared out the jungle. There is nothing left except for the red buff that's going to be spawning for Barely Plat to take in their jungle. So it's going to be a hard time. They're going to have a hard time catching up in levels in XP and gold. Without an additional resource in that jungle. They're just going to get choked out and starved out of all of their resources. And, I mean, they're already down 11,000 gold in this game.
You do got to give them a little bit of credit, though, for their ward coverage. They have a ward on Baron. They've got ward on their bottom side as the next Drake, which I believe is this Infernal, will be spawning. It's a Mountain Drake, I apologize. So they do at least are trying to keep some vision outside of their base, but it's few and far between. And the main thing is that even if they can see the enemy champions, there's not much they can do about it because they're just so far behind. The team fighting, one of the things as well, is that it's not a 13-0 Darius anymore. It's the kills are spread out across the whole team. Everyone's able to participate. Everyone has gotten ahead of their counterpart. And Copper League just looked so far ahead, there's not much other than a miracle play by Barely Plat that will be able to get them back into this game.
Yeah, the only member of Barely Plat that is even close in gold actually is the highest gold member of the game, and that is the Ezreal, sitting on 10,000 gold in total between items in the bank, in the inventory, and gold in the bank. But every single member of Team Copper League is above 8,000 gold, including the support. That is a ridiculous stat when you think about it, because that means the gold is distributed almost perfectly evenly across all the members of their team. So like you were saying, it's not that they're, you know, blowing one lane out of the water. It's that the entire team is taking part, as we see Temeni getting chased down here.
Nami sacrificing herself to save the Ezreal. Right of the Arcane, gonna go out. Ezreal does live, throws out his own ultimate, passing through everyone, but won't do any damage. Irelia falls, Malzahar getting credit, and now as they move through the base, Barely Plat has barely any chance of stopping them. DRF Dive is low. It's about the only one that Rengar could try to assassinate. He throws out the ultimate, trying to look for a jump. But Dive is staying close in between multiple members, and they kind of have an idea for where Rengar is. He goes in, but the CC is too strong. So close. Dive is burning a little bit, but will survive. 21 kills to 11. And Copper League decide to back out despite being at such a massive advantage. Potentially just going for the Baron to just kind of nail in the last nail of the coffin.
Yeah, this is going to be all over as soon as this Baron finishes going down, and it's going to go down pretty quickly with the members they've got taking it. Commander C, 21-21 with that Malzahar, able to put those Voidlings on top of it and just chew away at it nice and slowly. Delicious Seal pushing in the top lane to kind of get those super minions all the way into the enemy base. And there goes the Baron.
So quick Baron over to Copper League. No contesting by Barely Plat. There isn't much. I do think that Copper League probably could have ended the game in that last push, but try to play it safe. If this was a professional tournament game, if you were on the stage in the LCS, you would want to make the wise choice, which is to say we've got several members that are low, and more importantly than that, we've got a lot of our AP members with no mana. So let's back out, let's pick up the Baron, let's really just push this victory home and not give Barely Plat any opportunity with these Nexus turrets to have an extra member in the fight, as people sometimes refer to those turrets as their 6th man or 7th man.
Yeah. Bot lane, gonna go ahead and, like you said, they're going for the sure thing here, so they're also gonna go ahead and take that bot lane and push that tower in with the minions on that side. They did just have another minion join the wave, another wave join, so,
Ooh.
Oh my word. That Nami just
absolutely decimated, taken off the map, no chance to respawn, no nothing, because the bot lane turret's going to fall and the inhibitor going to be picked up next. Dive has been chunked out by the Ezreal, but the Cho'Gath Alkaline going to lose half his health with only a handful of spells. Right of the Arcane trying to finish him off. Swipper going in, finishes off the brand because he was so low, but will be cleaned up on the flip side. 1-for-2 trade at the moment as Lord trying to finish off these minions will just barely avoid the silence, but the Nexus turret, one is already gone. Delicious Seal wants some extra kills, says, I had 13 kills last time, I want more, as he goes in trying to finish people off. Xeno extremely low. Nami throws out the ultimate. Oh, just misses. Xeno does a redemption, doesn't get the kill. It does! Nami gets to the very end! Victory for the Nami! Barely. Plat may have lost the game, but Nami can feel really good about the very end play. The ultimate misses, throw the redemption, grab the kill. Oh, that was so slick. I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Copper League with a fantastic, fantastic win. Okay, I'm going to try to go through this very, very briefly and very, very quickly. As my league has... Oh, there it is. I was about to say, where'd it go? There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that a number of you in the chat, I'm just going to refresh this. Please do not rage. These are custom games. And I know that not everyone was raging. The Cho'Gath apologized. I feel really good about that. Thank you for letting me know. These are custom games. You literally don't lose anything but a little bit of time. And especially as you join the community and want to participate in what goes on here, which I really hope you do, and things continue, these are your friends. These are people that can be your friends. We play a lot together. We do some ridiculous stuff. It's a fun time. But there really isn't a reason to rage. There isn't a reason to int. There isn't a reason to flame, because these are your friends. These are your teammates. And even if you lose the game, it's okay. There's going to be more games in the future. You're not losing ranked stats. Okay, you look bad in a YouTube video that nobody's going to watch. It's fine. If you go popping off, share it with your friends. If you get a bad game, which is basically like every game for me, please don't do it with me. I will drag you down. Everyone has tried to carry me. It doesn't work that way. It goes the reverse direction. Just don't. It's fine. If you have a bad game, just shrug it off and move on forward. It's a fun time. So... it's okay. It was quite the whole game. Aurelia was flaming. Everyone was saying that Aurelia was flaming a lot. And I do see that. The best thing you can do when somebody starts to flame is just silence them. Just silence them. So it works in 2/3 of the games. I mean, hey, 2/3 of the game's good. Rule of thumb is if it's toxic, if as toxic or less than me, you'll be fine. Salty or less than Briar, you'll be fine. That's the main thing.
Briar.
Briar is the king of salt. All right, but enough about that. We're having fun. Not everybody gets to play every time, and if the Aurelia wants to talk with me specifically, happy to have individual talk. I don't like doing this. I don't think anybody likes doing this. I do appreciate being known, because I don't want to invite, craziness into drama into the community. Some people do still flame sometimes, but as long as we're friends and we keep it cool, and it's awesome. So go ahead and run through MVPs and honorable mentions for the losing team.
Okay, for the losing team, just for Xeno, I'm going to give MVP to League is My Main. No, I'm kidding. League is My Main is getting the honorable mention, though. Did a good job making sure, just supporting Temeni across the entirety of the map, made sure that Temeni was kept safe and kept fights going in some cases, made it to where they at least had a shot to happen. Plus, that was an awesome redemption kill at the end of the game. That totally isn't biasing my decision on this at all. MVP does go to Temeni, though. 7-3-3 on this Ezreal. Was the only member of the team that really was able to stay alive because of excellent uses of the Arcane Shift. Did give up that early kill in the game, but there wasn't really much you do. You either eat the Arcano Pulse from the Xerath, or you walk towards that brush and hope that there isn't, and you hope that there isn't a Riven sitting in that brush.
Hey, somebody cheering, and for some reason we lost a couple frames there, but I think we're fine. It should be good. Looks like there's a lot of hearts and loves in the chat, so we're all good there. I love feeding. Temeni, you get me! You're my man. You're my main man. That's how it goes. Let me go ahead and write that down. All right, for the winning team. Honorable mention. It's really hard to say, guys. Again, if you look across the board, they're pretty darn solid. But I'm giving honorable mention over to Sejace's. One of the big deals is because of that early gank in the bottom lane. Level 2 comes in, double kill for the bottom lane of Copper League, sets them up to scale well, even though double kills went back and forth and back and forth. I mean, literally, that's like the whole laning phase was just double kill from one side, double kill from the other. The Riven started it off, and what could have gotten completely out of hand by an Ezreal just poking AP members in the bottom lane out of lane, she's able to help them out. And so honorable mention to her. MVP is even harder to give, but I think that I'm going to give it, again, you really can't be too complaining about it, to Delicious Seal. This guy, if you see him in a game, or her, might be her, I really don't know. If you see this player in a game, ban the Darius! Just ban the Darius. It's not that hard. Delicious Seal, Darius. Delicious Seal, ban Darius. Delicious Seal, just tattoo it on the back of your hand. Delicious Seal equals ban Darius. And you'll be okay. No, this guy is really good. Obviously, crushed his lane, soloed, 1v2 a handful of times as well. And I would say even more deserving of MVP for this game, actually leveled up. Came with the team to the mid lane to 5v5. What? Helped at Baron. What? Last time we saw Delicious Seal totally crushed his own lane, but never did anything else. Totally fine. But this game, even better. Joined the team, helped out as well. Didn't take every single kill of the entire game. Awesome job from Delicious Seal.
I have to say, if it were me, I would have flipped them.
Oh, okay. Honorable mention for Delicious Seal, MVP to Sejaces.
And to Sejaces, just because Sejaces stemmed the bleeding in the one lane that was looking like it might become a problem. If Sejaces hadn't been there to counter on Swipper's dive, it might have been a 4-0 Irelia, and that may have continued to snowball out of control, whereas he was there to stop Swipper from getting another kill against Commander C2121, and therefore Commander was able to go back. Actually, that was the fight that got Commander enough gold to pick up the Rylai, so that when Commander came back, the next time Swipper dove, Commander